Well, I tried to fix my picture. I guess I need to get a level. Anyway, so I'm new to this. Again, my name is Kelly. Kelly B. So I got that job. And that job got me my apartment. I moved in November 21st. I got back here in April with my friend to help drive her cross country. She said I could live with her for 6 months. Oh. Everything happens for a reason in a reading. Not that I've got to the reading yet. Oh, that painting looks terrible. I apologize. I'll get it all figured out. It's just me. That friend, every day, made things hard on me. She offered me a certain amount of money to help her move cross country to go back where I was wanting to be back at anyway. If I didn't tell you before, I left 3 years ago. I was married 25 years. My husband died 7 times, came back, didn't remember any of us, blah, blah, blah. Another story, another time. And my youngest was going to college. And I'm 60. I'll be 61. She graduated last May. And I had her 39. But when she left for college after my divorce, I waited for her to go to college and I left. And I came to where I am now. I was here 11 months living in hotels, working gig work, working 2 jobs a day, 7 days a week, and my mom got sick. When I asked for a miracle, that very morning, my mother called. Said she didn't want to die alone. I moved out when I was 15. I didn't have a normal relationship with my mother. She's since passed. But anyway, I'd been telling everybody for about a month. I didn't date. I cut all my hair off. I worked gig work in restaurants, cleaning hotel rooms, whatever I could do. And I was getting tired. Asked for a miracle, and my mother called. Dropped everything, put things in storage, and left and went to be with my mother. Granted, I'd not lived with my mother since I was 15. So, of course, I'd seen her a couple times over the years. I left the town that I lived in LA till I was 12, and then lived in Portland, Oregon until I was 21. And then I traveled. I lived in Hawaii. Well, first I lived in Alaska, then I lived in Hawaii, then I lived in Denver, and then I lived in Arizona, then I lived in South Carolina, lived in North Carolina, went back to South Carolina, went back to Oregon, went to Arizona, and back to South Carolina, which is where I'm currently at. And I love it. I told God a long time ago, well, when I was moving here the first time, I told God I would go anywhere, do anything, whatever He needed me to do. And I did that. And I wouldn't realize then I must have done what I came to do, because I was leaving again. I also told God that I would never take anything with me that I didn't bring, and there were certain things. I always had my Bible. I always had my picture of Jesus. It's just a Goodwill picture of Jesus I'd found. A pair of boxing gloves to remind me to keep fighting. And a Cedar Hill mop. Or cedar mop. I think it's just cedar mop. But I knew as long as I had that, I would always work. So I told God I would donate, give away everything I earned on this venture and go wherever he needed me to go. And that's what I did for 3 years. I was living in a tent after living on a canal in Arizona, just for maybe a week. But it was water in Arizona, so, I had to stay. And nobody was there. And I had an unfortunate accident. Of course, I'm too tough. Stood up for myself, and then I met a nice Indian man of Indian descent, like American Indian, and his family. And they took me in, I stayed in a tent, and I worked every day. I contributed to the family, and they were so good to me. And I miss you guys dearly. And then my friend called. Her mother had passed. She needed help getting everything finalized, and help packing and moving her back to, or moving her to South Carolina, because this is where her son is. And that's one of the reasons why I decided to come here. Because my best friend that I've known since I was 15, and her son had married a South Carolinian and lived here in Charleston. Hint, hint, best city in the state. I've lived in a couple of them in South Carolina. I love Charleston. My soul belongs in Charleston. But I think it's just because all the old history, and I was never good at history growing up. I was never good at anything at school. I left school in the 9th grade and couch surfed after my mom kicked me out. And I wasn't raised in a church, so I never had a denomination. I always believed in God. Always believed in God. God was everything to me. Still is. I gotta fix that painting. My wings are crooked. Is that where I'm at in life, God? My wings are crooked. Anyway, let's fast forward. So, I ended up being a bench chef on this boat. Thought I'd live my days out there. Loved it. Hectic. Worked 7 days a week, 1 day off, 7 days a week, 1 day off. I go into work, I find out I'm not full-time. So I'm not getting the benefits. And had an event on my boat that night. 161 people. So I had to have another chef, a real chef, because I'm not a real chef. I want to be. I would love to be. I love cooking. I want to feed the world. But had another chef on the boat, a real chef, and thought I had a good rapport with him. Anyway, he called me some bad names, and I walked out of the kitchen. I went upstairs. I stood in the rain. I spoke to my ancestors. I talked to God. I was so disrespected. And I guess it just brought up a whole lot of everything. I was called the C word. And maybe I've been called the C word a couple times. I don't remember. But I know it was traumatic when he said it. And I kind of liked him. So that made it even harder. I stood in the rain for 2 hours, waiting for the boat to dock. I was the first one off the boat. And now, well, I got pneumonia. I had pneumonia for 3 weeks. I have no family. And my so-called friend who helped me, this was right before Christmas. She called the day before and picked a fight with me because she knew if she did, I wouldn't come. Obviously, she didn't want me there around her ex-husband, her son, her children, who loved me dearly. And I loved them dearly. But, so I spent Christmas alone, no job, still recovering from pneumonia. Now, fast forward, my rent was due on the 1st of January. I had to ask such friend to help me out. Such friend's multimillionaire. Not asking because I don't want to work, asking because I was sick and I needed help. And if I lose my apartment, that's an eviction for 5 years. I've never had an eviction and don't want to go there. I worked a gig job, Gig Pro, 4 years ago when I lived here. 3 years ago. It's 4 years now. And worked every day, 2-3 jobs a day. Made a lot of money, but lived in a hotel by myself. Cut my hair off so nobody pay attention to me, the whole thing. Worked every day. Didn't do drugs, stayed out of, didn't party, didn't drink, didn't do anything. Took an Uber every day. And so I had to ask this friend for help. Well, she agrees to help me, but in the same sense. Now, granted, I've known this person since I was 15 years old. She was there when my son was born. When we were married, we all took vacations together. Jamaica, this, that. She informs me she doesn't want to be my friend anymore. And I've used her to get a job and get an apartment. And that's fine. She's a narcissist, so I understand. That's who gave me my awakening in the first place. I've dealt with the devil before, but now, why is it that I had my dream job, or what I thought? Now, I've been saying I was going to have a YouTube channel for 5 years now. And I've been homeless, which now I see isn't a problem. I could have done it then. I've been in my apartment now. It's January 12th. And God's telling me to get off my butt because I'm getting ready to lose my apartment. And I have a gift. I don't know if my gift is everything I've been through. I started reading cards during my awakening. I put God in everything. God is first and foremost in everything. I can't predict the future. I feel like I am a seer. I know when people lie to me, I know, which that was another gift when God gave it to me. I didn't understand. I didn't understand why complete strangers would lie to me. And I didn't even know them. And I asked God, why would you give me this gift? Why do I have to know when people are lying to me? Now, fast forward, I understand when you really need to know, you really need to know. But strangers that I would never see again, I knew when they were lying to me. So I asked God, and He said, we all make up stories about ourselves to get us through certain places in our life, and they become our truths. How many stories, Kelly, have you made up to get you through? How many things do you now believe as a 60-year-old woman, mature woman, do you honestly believe about yourself that you think are the truth? But are they the truth? I need to fix this behind me. It's really starting to bother me, but I think it's more to bring it down and give me wings, not that I've earned them. I can't wait to share with you guys all my experiences. And I hope that it's experiences you've had too. Nobody's ever understood me. I did have a man that I thought loved me very, very deeply. And maybe he did at one time. But he had 7 heart attacks. And he didn't remember any of us. Not his parents, not his children. The only person he remembered was the woman, stripper, that saved his life. How funny is that? That was 12 years ago. We're kind of friends now. I don't know. Yeah, we're friends. I don't talk too much. But anyway. I have done this alone. Now, so many people want to say I was there, I did this, I did that. No. God. God, my angels, my archangels, my ancestors, my spirit guides, my dragons, my fairies, my unicorns, angels that God sends in. But I have been home since December 5th, my mother's birthday, the day I lost my job. And God has been on me. Oh, God has been on me. So if He's been on you, don't ignore it. Don't ignore it. I know I came here to read cards, so let me at least pull a couple cards. And let me put my glasses back on. What did I do with them? I'm looking for my glasses. Sorry about that. We've got Knight of Swords, Five of Cups, Five of Wands, Seven of Cups. Something about the truth coming in. Five of Cups and the Knight of Swords. Something about the truth coming in about what you're not seeing. You're looking at what you've lost. But you need to look at the Two Cups, which are not necessarily the Two Cups of love, but Five of Wands. Conflict. Knight of Truth. Crying over spilt milk. Five of Wands. Truth about some controversy that you're not leaving behind. You need to leave it behind. You need to look at those other two cups and get past this controversy. Not sure what that is, but you've got the Seven of Cups. You've got options. Oh, Seven of Cups, Ten of Swords, Ten of Cups. You've got options to get past this heartache to reach your Ten of Cups. You can. You just gotta see it. You've got options. You can take those swords out of your back to reach the Ten of Cups. You can do it. I can do it. I want to try and do at least a video a day. Fix that. My wings back there, for one thing. Today is January 12th. I have until February 1st, which I'm a February Pisces. Yay me. To get through this next hurdle and place in my life. Thank you. If you watched this video, I thank you very much. I'm in my 60s. I don't know much about technology. I don't know about this virtual World Wide Web world. God's telling me to do this. As a matter of fact, he's kind of kicking my butt right now. So, one video a day, maybe more. I'm a little chatty since I've been alone for quite a while now, which is fine. I'm in a safe place. I love my apartment. It's so quiet here. I feel at peace here. I have a fireplace. I have a bedroom. I have a kitchen. I have a patio. And my job, I didn't quite understand at first. I get a job. I work hard for months and months and months. I get an apartment. And I moved in on November 21st, lost my job December 5th, my mom's birthday. But I understand now. God's moving me in a different direction. He says I have a story. He says I have something to share. He says I can empathize with what you all have been through as well. If this reaches one person, then God will glorify me, because that's what he keeps saying. I just need you to tell people your story. So while I fix my wings, I'm going to fix my wings and figure all this out. I appreciate you. God bless you. And God and the gang, thank you. Good night.